In thy presence is life eternal. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And where is the Spirit of the Lord but here, where I am now? There is a something which we call God. There is a something which we call Christ, or the Spirit of God, or the Son of God. No one can describe it, no one can define it. We can only call it a presence, or a power, or a spirit. No one has ever been able to go any further than that. But it's something of which we are consciously aware. And we know that because of it, nothing is impossible to us. We know that because of it, our steps are ordered. There is a predestination. We are not predestined to do a certain work or to occupy a certain position, but we are predestined to be lived by God. We are predestined to know peace, harmony, wholeness, contentment, perfection. It is predestined that we live eternally and immortally in infinite abundance of joy, life, health, harmony, wholeness, completeness, by virtue of God's grace. You may call God's grace the Christ in you, or the Spirit of God in you, or the still small voice. A something, a transcendental something, we have called it the infinite invisible. It is infinite beyond measure. It is invisible to our human senses. But it exists. It is more real than the food on our table because it can appear as food on the table. It is more real than bomb-proof shelters because living in its awareness, none of these evils of the world can come nigh my dwelling place. To let it govern and take over voids, wipes out the necessity for the ancient prayers of, "O God, punish my enemies. O God, destroy those who hate me. O God, bless my family." This is all done away with. All done away with in the realization of a living presence. Father, bless my enemies. Forgive them. Awaken them to their true identity, that they may live as freely and joyously and prosperously as I am. Bless them that curse me, and they will never curse another. In thy presence is life eternal. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And where is the Spirit of the Lord but here, where I am now? God made the heavens and the earth. God's glory is reflected in the firmament. God's grace is made evident in the beauty of the skies, the sun, the moon, the stars. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. God made all that was made, and all that God made is good. The heavens and the earth, then, these constitute the temple of God. God's grace is the creative principle of this temple. God is the substance of His universe. God is the life and God is the law. Unto this temple of the living God. And so we learn that the heavens and the earth are spiritual. The heavens and the earth are spiritual, made in the image and likeness of God, Spirit. And thus we see that perfection is the already fact about the heavens and the earth, that God's glory fills His temple. The only correction now is the correction of our material sense of this spiritual temple, which I am and which you are. This temple, which is my body and your body, this temple, which is my mind and your mind, is made by God, and God's glory fills it. God's glory fills the temple of the universe, the temple which is the universe, the temple which is my being and your being. And thus we see that everything that is spiritual. What then is the purpose of meditation except that we go within and realize the spiritual nature of that which is this temple of the living God? We have learned in human experience that finiteness, bondage, imprisonment, all of these come to us through a material sense of God's kingdom. The Master taught, my kingdom, the spiritual kingdom, is not of this world. That is, has nothing to do with men's concepts of the universe. For my kingdom, like my peace, has to do with reality, has to do with this world of heaven and earth as it really is, the temple of the living God. In our meditation, let us never seek to change any part of the heaven or of the earth. Let us never accept a material universe. Let us never accept a material man, mind, or body, but seek our freedom through the realization of the spiritual nature of the temple of God, which temple I am and you are. Remember this: it isn't only that the heavens are spiritual, the earth is spiritual. I am spirit, and the mind of me and the body of me is spiritual, for these are made in the image and likeness of God as the very temple of God, and we are told that God is in his holy temple now. Spiritual healing work results in the attainment of freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Therefore, the object of our work, of our prayers, of our meditation, of our treatment, the object of these is the attainment of freedom, peace, liberty. And the means of attaining these is giving up the material sense of existence and realizing the spiritual nature of this universe made in God's image and likeness, realizing the spiritual nature of the heavens and the earth. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. The earth is spiritual, and the bodies that walk on earth, and the bodies that appear on earth, the bodies of men, the bodies of trees, the bodies of rivers, the bodies of the suns and the moons and the stars. The earth itself belongs to God, is of spirit, spiritual. Never forget this. The earth is the Lord's. And that's why God is in the earth. God is on the earth. God constitutes the earth. The earth is spiritual. And all therein is spiritual. For we are the temple of the living God. Attain this spiritual realization of the nature of all creation and discover your freedom. Discover that you are free. Discover that you always have been free, but that you have imprisoned yourself, or you have been imprisoned only by entertaining a material sense of this universe, by accepting a material sense of your body. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. The earth is spiritual, and all that is therein is spirit. In this meditation, you have the material for a great deal of healing work. As a matter of fact, the entire nature of your healing work can change if you understand this meditation. Thank you. Thank you.